Serban Ghenea has been one of the top secret players in the industry for decades. His mixes are highly respected and sought after by audio professionals. Make Believe Studios and Metric Halo have teamed up to design a plugin that Serban uses. But is this the only plugin you need on your mix bus? Let's find out in this video. This is Alex from Alex Pro Mix. Let's go! Hey guys, and welcome back. My name is Alex from Alex Pro Mix. In this video, we're gonna dive deep into the MixHead plugin, a secret sauce by one of the industry giants in the music business. This is probably the only plugin you're gonna find that's endorsed by an industry giant, by Serban. In this video, we're gonna use MixHead to process all kinds of music material. But before we do that, if you don't know who Serban is, I encourage you guys to watch a video produced by George T Music. I'll leave a link on the video description below so that you guys can check that out. And this is just amazing that the guys from Make Believe Studios were able to pull this off. So here we have a Pro Tools session loaded with multiple folders. Each folder has stems from mixes that have already been completed but are not mastered. And we're gonna use the MixHead plugin to process each one of these mixes. So I'll just quickly skim through these examples and then we'll dive into the plugin.
On the ground, take the good with the bad. I'll take anything you have if it makes me feel something. Makes me feel something at all. Something at all.
Espero no veo el sol. You might think that I'm too fake. Se van y te ponen los cuernos.
I've been trying, so
it hurts to say it, I can't do it again. Cause it starts off with small talk, yeah, it's always the same.
Ooh, girl, you're fine as hell. Ooh, girl, you make him stare. Abracadabra, ooh, watch how I pair. For the vamos a hacer. El que termine juqueado sabiendo que está pa' mí. Says you no go ever play with me. Make I tell you story, yo. Way up on for down.
Running from the dark that we're scared of, but we can't escape.
All right, cool. So that gives you guys an idea. It's not one-sided. It's not just pop. It's not just urban. It's not just Latin. It's not just Afrobeats. It's not just rock. But we got a big, colorful display here of different music styles. Now, controls, input gain, which is displayed here on this LED screen, if you will. LCD screen, LCD or LED, one of those. Input gain, you'll see the volume display there, the amount display there. Drive, high frequency adjust, positive or negative 6, plus or minus 6. Then it's output gain, tape speed, which you click on this thing 3 times for 30, 3.75, or 15. And then active, whether it's either on or off.
Take anything you have if it makes me feel something. Makes me feel something at all. Something at all. Take the good with the bad. I'll take anything you have if it makes me feel something. Makes me feel something at all. Me, trash the masterpiece just to see if it's real. Kill my empathy just to watch it bleed. It's all rinse and repeat. I'm obsessed with the mess, yeah, it's beauty and the stress.
Okay, so even after the chorus where the verse dies down, which is here,
I'll take anything you have if it makes me feel something. Makes me feel something at all. Me.
listen to the tonality of the vocals and how it changes with the plugin engaged and without. So without, you kind of get this dip in dynamics where it gets soft, but you lose like the glue part of the mix. And then when we engage MixHead, it's like all the low-level information comes up. Check it out. This is before. And after. There's like a texture on the upper frequencies of the vocals that just becomes audible, you know, when you have this engaged. I'm curious to see what this one's gonna sound like. So let's go ahead and bring in MixHead again, and then we'll bring in our post trim. And for this one, I'll go ahead and reset the settings back to the one preset, the one that everybody's gonna use. All right, so this is the default setting, and let's go ahead and bring the, I'll trim this accordingly based on how much I drive into it. Here we go.
Cause it starts off with small talk. Yeah, it's always the same. Say you wanna start over. I don't really know how to say this, but I don't wanna be your friend. I don't wanna just pretend. Can't forget about the things that we had. You just wanna act like you don't take a part of me. Every time you turn and leave, hurts to say it. I don't want it to end, but I don't wanna be your friend. No, it probably sounds too harsh, but I don't need another scar.
What I like about this is that, like, the mix already sounds great, the stems already sound great, it sounds radio ready. And what this is doing is just bringing out a little bit more excitement out of the details and the texture of the mix.
Cause it starts off with small talk. Yeah, it's always the same. Say you wanna start over. I don't really know how to say this, but I don't wanna be your friend. I don't wanna just pretend. Can't forget.
Perfect. So right there in the hook where he says, I don't want to be your friend, where you hear the backing vocals with MixHead on, it sounds like they're glued together. It sounds like everything is coming up and being presented in a sonic soundstage where you can hear everything. When you turn this off, the backing vocals appear a little bit more distant.
I don't wanna just.
Let me go back. Here we go.
I don't wanna be your friend.
Before,
I don't wanna be your friend. I don't wanna just.
after.
I don't wanna be your friend.
Yeah, it's like the backing vocals just like they take a step forward into the soundstage of the listener. So that's pretty amazing. All right, let's continue on with this experiment. Here we have more of a rap urban track. Let me just hear it first and then I'll apply the plugins. All right, and then for this type of material, it's just always going to be loud, right? There's no dynamics necessarily here. It's really more of like, okay, how can you make the whole thing, you know, just bang louder, right? So again, we'll reset this. We'll use the one preset. Come on, this is what's going to be living on your mix bus moving on after you watch this demo and after you download the demo. All right, so let's go ahead and just listen to the default setting, the one preset, and let's listen what it does to this track. Here we go.
She texted me, she don't want nobody else, she know that they a waste, man. You can try to holler, but she gon' stay away, fam. She tell me that she loves me every day, man. Hard to go, plus that money keep on raining. Me, I've been running on the mind, but you.
Yeah, I mean, it does what it needs to do. Let me just tweak around with the tape speed and see what happens when I use like 3.75. Here we go.
I can't help but look at when you walking right.
Wow, listen to that bass.
I can't help but look at when you walking.
Man, I did not expect that. Let me just play it. Here we go.
I can't help but look at when you walking right in front of me. I can tell she want it, I can see that she obsessed to me. She was in my DMs, oh Lord, now she texts. Every day I've been dreaming about that non and Valenti.
I think there's a feature here. That is crazy. So when you set the tape speed to 375, it's like, man, it just adds in a other octave below the low end, which is crazy. I'm obviously driving it a whole lot for the sake of example and exaggerating it, but I did not expect that. That is insane. This is like not using EQ when you're just getting this sub-low information. That's just crazy. This is before. Now, mind you, I'm listening, all this demo, I'm listening through my little Aura tones here with a built-in amp, with a passive, these are passive and they have their own amp. And that low end just pops out of the mix. So I hope that's not too much for you guys on YouTube. All right, let's jump ahead. We got some Latin music, Dynell. Let's see if we can find the verse into the chorus.
Sacarte aquí por un minuto. El beso que nos dimos perreando en la. Tus ojitos y la nota no mienten. Si te sigo la corriente, seré yo. El que termine juqueado sabiendo que estás pa' mí.
All right, let me go ahead here and jump it from here. And what I'm curious about is how this is going to affect the reverbs, all the vocal effects that are way in the back of the mix that are part of the production. I'm curious to see how this is going to affect that in a positive way. All right, so we'll bring this up. The one, we'll use a trim plugin afterwards. We'll reset that. And here we go. Let's go ahead and play before and after. This is before.
Baby, píchale tu corazón, no donde quiero entrar. Sabes que enamorarme no quiero, ya te hablaron de mí. Aquí no pasa nada, si tú quieres me voy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It just like brings everything like forward in the mix. The low level information. It has, I think from watching one of the videos, they mentioned how it had like this like broadband compression that's very gentle, but it's being triggered by the high frequency detector above 5.6K. I could be wrong, but somewhere around that area. So what it does, it's like it shapes the tonality of the mix in a way that you really can't do with EQ because EQ is static, and then whatever magic is happening under the hood. That's crazy. And from just this demonstration, what I'm hearing, if I was going to come up with some conclusions, is that the better the mix is, the better the result is going to be through MixHead. Now that should be no surprise, right? This is not going to mix the song for you. But you know, it just, whatever you put into it, you get more of that out. All right, cool. So there's your Latin example. We have a couple of more. You guys hang on, hang in there, hang in with me. And we got Wanda Banton from Lagos, Nigeria. This is some Afrobeats music. You guys know I work on a lot of Afrobeats mixes. Let's check out the one on Wanda Banton.
If I know that she be walking my joy. She dey play me up, play me up, play me up. She dey play like footballer. She dey wind me up, wind me up, wind me up. She dey wind like I said. She dey play me up, play me up, play me up.
That is crazy. I mean, again, I just can't, you know, it's like adding warmth and it's adding air. And how do you do that, you know? Because like typically when you add in too much high end, you start getting harshness. And if you add in too much quote unquote warmth, you can get muddiness. So this is resolving that issue. Let me play this from the top. I think there's some like percussive fills and stuff like that that we can listen to.
She dey wind me up, wind me up, wind me up. She dey wind like I said. It's the low melody. Make I tell you story, yo. Way I put for down, Omotola Mata.
Listen to the lower part of his voice.
Stories.
Where he says, let me tell you stories.
Make I tell you stories, yo.
Yeah, where he says stories. Like listen to like the throat of his voice. Let me go back a bit. So I'm gonna go before and after.
Make I tell you stories, yo. Make I tell you stories.
Man, it sounds like his voice is just popping out of these small speakers right here. That's crazy.
Make I tell you stories, yo. Way I put for down, Omotola Mata. She be on me for what? I'm a Dynell. If I know that quick she be walking my joy. She dey play me up, play me up, play me up. She dey play like.
All right, that bass part right there. Let's pay attention to that.
She dey play me up, play me up, play me.
Without.
She dey play me up, play me up, play me.
It's cool. I mean, it's well balanced. Let's drive this a lot. What's the max? 14? Let's see what that sounds like.
Play me up, play me up, play me up. She dey play like football.
Man, it doesn't like sound bad even if you crush this thing.
Play me up, play me up, play me.
That's before.
Play me up, play me up, play me.
That is insane. All right, cool. So, conclusion. I can't make this thing sound bad. That's my conclusion. I do want to just kind of rant on for a little bit because of the way that they launched this plugin, all right? So if you guys don't know, or if you guys are new to the industry, if you're a DIY producer, artist, or mix engineer, there's a lot of material online. You can follow, you know, like Mix with the Masters, you can attend webinars, live sessions, courses, the 5 techniques you need to apply for every mix. I mean, you can go on and on and on and on. You can watch every interview on YouTube and get ideas. You can watch a whole Chris Ordalgi series on how to mix a song from beginning to end and what effects to use. And by the way, here are the plugins. There is so much information online, but there's one guy that has been a hidden charm, a secret wizard, if you will, behind the industry for decades. And nobody's been able to get an interview with him. And these guys behind the MixHead plugin, Metric Halo, they found a way to take a piece of device that Serban uses and create an emulation. Now, kudos to them. Absolute kudos to them. I think they're called Make Believe. We'll check that out on the website right now. I think, and I've been in the industry for a long time, believe me, if X, Y, and C plugin company came up with the SPL X, Y, and C plugin, I don't think it would have done this well. But the fact that these guys went after somebody that's a heavy hitter, that every engineer and producer and artist admires, and that doesn't really share much of his techniques, to come up with this and to even have his preset as a starting point, I mean, that speaks volumes, all right? So you might be wondering, who am I talking about? Who is Metric Halo? What is MixHead? Make Believe website? What's all this? Well, let's check it out. This is Make Believe Studios. Let's go ahead and zoom out. I just came across this recently from a newsletter, and this is it. This is the MixHead plugin. In their newsletter, they really went through the whole story. So, all right, so this is the website right here, and this is the product information, MB MixHead. In their own words, why top mixers, engineers, and producers in the business are excited about MixHead. In their own words, the machine head was very useful and valuable as a single unit hardware piece, but now it's a plugin that allows me to use it in ways that I could never before. Serban. You're not going to get this guy to endorse Waves Universal Audio Plugin Alliance, on and on and on and on. So to get a quote from Serban alone, I mean, that speaks volume. The machine head SPL, well, this is what the emulation version of this hardware as a plugin is. But I think that if, you know, I don't want to name any names, but if XYC plugin company came up with the SPL machine head, I don't think it would have done this great. But the fact that these guys went after a heavy hitter like Serban and worked with him, then man, you get this as a result. Huge, huge launch and amazing result. And as you guys heard from this video, this thing speaks for itself. This thing speaks for itself. Look at all that. All right. Now, one more thing I want to show you guys before I quit, and that's on the newsletter. It's not showing up on here, but let me go ahead and pull it up. This is from the newsletter. What happens when audio archaeologist Rick Carson sleuths out an unacknowledged key component of Serban Ghenea's mixing master bus process chain, ironically prompted by the photo of Serban in the original channel strip interview he did with Metric Halo? I'll leave a link to that video below. Answer: Metric Halo and Make Believe determine how to create the process from scratch and then send it to Serban to see if it does the thing that originally caused him to use it on his bus, his mix bus. Serban tells us that it does the thing, asks us to add a couple more features and switches to using MixHead. And here we go, we have it, the MixHead plugin with Serban's preset called The One. What do you guys think? Is this really all you need for a mix bus processor? Does this really work on any genre of music? I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments below. Lastly, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and spending this time with me. I really, really appreciate your time and value you guys watching and following this channel. If you're new, I invite you to hit subscribe, like, and share. Also, be sure to share this video with any audio music producer, any engineer or artist who is learning mixing and mastering. Again, my name is Alex from Alex Pro Mix. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you again real soon. Peace.